welcome rock lovers and music enthusiasts to the channel, Jukebox of Fame. They broke hearts in the late 80s, recording some of the most memorable songs in history, a true rock legend. They retired too early, but their love for music brought them back. This is the story of the band Europe. Europe is a Swedish rock band formed in Upplands Väsby in 1979, by lead vocalist Joey Tempest, guitarist John Norum, bassist Peter Olsson, and drummer Tony Reno. Rolf Magnus Joachim Larsson, known by his stage name Joey Tempest, was born on August 19, 1963, in a suburb of Stockholm, Sweden. During his youth, he had a great interest in sports, especially football and ice hockey. He dreamed of becoming a professional football player or a gym instructor when he grew up, but fate had a very different path in store for him. Rolf, at around 13 or 14 years old, grabbed a music tape from his sister. It contained the top 10 songs from the radio, where she had recorded her favorite music selection, and that was the beginning of his great passion for music. When he discovered Elton John's songs, he was fascinated. Shortly after, he heard the song Love Hurts by the band Nazareth and liked it so much that it was the first record he bought. Music was always in the air at his home. His sister played the guitar, and they also had a piano. So, the young boy started practicing for endless hours until he mastered both instruments. In 1978, he went to a show by a local band without knowing that it would change his life. In the singer's own words, "At the age of 15, I discovered a guitarist 1 year younger than me, who played his instrument with soul and heart, along with sensational blues that I had never seen or heard from a Swedish musician before." His name was John Norum, and after that day, nothing would be the same. Rolf and John became good friends, and soon they joined the band. He then suggested changing the band's name to Force, and with that name, they started gaining recognition in the local scene, playing in bars and clubs. Rolf's girlfriend at the time entered them into a band competition in 1982, where they competed against other bands. Among them, they made it to the final stage, and after a tough competition, the guys won first place, where the prize was to record an album. This prize may not seem very valuable nowadays, but back then, it wasn't easy to record an album. There was a long way to go and many obstacles to overcome. During this time, Rolf decided to use a stage name and ended up choosing the name Joey Tempest. When the singer went on vacation to the United States a few years ago, he discovered that his real name, Rolf Magnus Joachim Larsson, was a bit difficult for Americans to pronounce, so he used the name Joachim as a basis and became Joey. As for the second name, Tempest, he took it from the title of a play by William Shakespeare, inspired by an album by Deep Purple. Joey Tempest, taking advantage of the name change phase, proposed changing the band's name again, this time to Europe. After several lineup changes in its early days, the most memorable lineup consists of Joey Tempest, John Lavin, John Norum, Ian Haugland, and Mike McKelly. The band's first album was released in 1983 and sold relatively well in Japan and Sweden. Released in 1984, their second album saw an improvement in the quality of their lyrics and musical arrangements, which caught the attention of a powerful record label, CBS Records. This record label offered them the opportunity to record a record. The album The Final Countdown was released on May 26, 1986, and with it came the band's international fame and acclaim. It quickly achieved 12 platinum records and 6 gold records worldwide, selling over 15 million copies in total. It reached triple platinum for sales in the United States, double platinum in Canada, and gold in the United Kingdom, making it one of the best-selling albums of the decade, an unprecedented achievement for a Swedish band. The title track, The Final Countdown, was released as a single and reached number 8 on the American charts and number 5 in the United Kingdom. Moreover, the song topped the charts in over 25 countries, including France, Germany, Ireland, Sweden, and Italy, becoming one of the most famous songs of the 80s. The lyrics of this song were written by Joey Tempest and depict the launch of a large spaceship where the last survivors of humanity leave Earth and head to the planet Venus for a fresh start. The reasons for leaving the planet are not clear, although given the year it was written, it often implies a nuclear war. One of the inspirations for composing the song came from David Bowie's Space Oddity.
This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade.
An undeniable trademark of the band was the famous synthesizer riff, also created by Joey between 1981 and 1982, originally intended to be used as the opening for their live performances. An interesting detail about this great classic is that when he presented it to his bandmates, they didn't like it and thought it would be a failure. They didn't want The Final Countdown to be released as a single, let alone have the album named after the song. In fact, guitarist John himself believed that the synthesizer introduction wouldn't catch anyone's attention. However, destiny had its way, and in the end, the record label executives yielded to Joey Tempest's desires, making the song the band's biggest commercial success in their entire history. In addition to the song The Final Countdown, the album had 5 other hits, including the beautiful ballad Carrie, which reached the 3rd position on the Billboard chart in the United States. This Europe album had some great tracks. Apart from The Final Countdown and Carrie, other songs like Love Chaser, Rock the Night, Ninja, and the song Cherokee, which was inspired by the tragic struggle of Native Americans, the Cherokee who originally lived in the wooded Appalachian Mountains in the South. They were forcibly relocated to the hills of eastern Oklahoma.
Love chaser, bet you're in for a big surprise.
During these years, the band conquered the world, with both Joey Tempest and his bandmates capturing the hearts of thousands of fans who followed them everywhere they went. He always showed himself to be very approachable and friendly with the fans, taking time for many photos and autographs. Fame never got to his head. Tempest also stood out as a very intelligent person, apart from playing multiple instruments and writing almost all of the band's songs. In 1988, their next album was released, titled Out of This World, with a much lighter sound than the previous album. The 2 biggest hits from this work were Open Your Heart and Superstitious. The latter reached number 31 on the Billboard chart and would be the band's last song to enter the American charts. The band embarked on a successful tour of the United States with the band Def Leppard in 1990 and performed with great success at the prestigious Vina del Mar Festival in Chile, where they received a lot of love from their Latin American fans. Europe released a new album, Prisoners in Paradise, in 1991, but due to the changing musical tastes influenced by bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, who spearheaded the grunge movement, it didn't achieve much commercial success. This led the band to take a break and step away from the stage. Interestingly, after a festival in Tokyo called The Final Countdown, which shared the same name as their biggest hit song and ironically became the ending point or hiatus of the group at that time. It seemed like a twist of fate, don't you think? Other bands also performed at that same festival, including Metallica. The following year, Joey met a beautiful young woman at Piccadilly Circus in London. She had lost her wallet, and the singer helped her find it, and they soon became a couple. The girl's name was Lisa Worthington, who would later become his wife, and they had 2 children, James and Jack. In April 1995, Joey released his first solo album titled A Place to Call Home, which was well received and reached the top of the Swedish charts. His second album, called Azalea Place, debuted in 1997, and his third solo album was released in 2002. After over a decade apart, the band Europe decided to return to the stage in 2004, driven by their unwavering passion and in response to the requests of thousands of fans. They reunited and released a new album with fresh and more modern songs. They resumed touring worldwide and have been working intensely ever since, releasing 7 albums between 2004 and 2017. Joey managed to lead a peaceful life, doing what he loves, and he has managed to stay away from drugs and other excesses that famous musicians tend to fall into. He took great care of his voice, and for that reason, he still sings incredibly well to this day. Even though the band hasn't released another worldwide smash hit, their concerts are still happening in both Europe and America. Their work holds a very special place among music lovers who have never forgotten those great and unforgettable songs that made history in the 80s, and it continues to captivate new generations all over the world. And so we come to the end of this incredible journey through the history of the band Europe. Their moving music, resilient spirit, and passion for music still inspire us today. But the story doesn't end here. Remember to subscribe to our channel for fans of good music so you won't miss any updates in our upcoming videos. Until next time, take care everyone.